You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show.
Hi everyone, Bing is for doing, and here at AFTERBUZZ TV, we're doing another Project Runway, Season 12, Episode 5, You Choose Your Materials recap. Another really fun episode. We have a lot to get into. I'm your host, Alina. These are my lovely co-hosts. Girls, introduce yourselves.
Hi guys, I'm Amanda Fields.
Hey, I'm Stef Z.
All right. Surprised to see another unconventional challenge?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of them, but I like them better. I do.
I thought it was
third
cool.
one.
Yes, it
In
was
this
cool to
season,
combine
yeah.
unconventional materials with a team challenge.
Well,
Yeah, they did that last week, 2
Yeah.
weeks ago at Coney Island.
Yes, yes.
Except this time it's
Yes,
a real team challenge. There's
Yes, it's not a
said
partner.
that like
A real challenge.
Sandro isn't coming out.
I don't know if you guys ever watched a couple seasons ago, but there was a contestant, Dimitri. He actually won it all, but he used to say challenge, and I just said it like him. So to my former co-host, Lauren Fias, and Lauren Leonelli, if you're listening, I just said challenge, and I didn't mean to.
A challenge.
I really like the unconventional ones. Like I feel like a lot of designers are good designers because they've practiced and they know what they're working with. But to throw them a curveball and to see what they can make out of materials that they wouldn't normally find, I think it's really interesting because it shows like who can really. It's almost like sending them on a scavenger hunt. It's like who can really figure it out. There's a little bit more than just skill set.
And I thought this was really unique today because they included 3 different unconventional materials locations to gather fabric and food and wallpaper from.
Yeah, we have to get into the details as well, but I agree. I think these unconventional challenges are entertaining. We see what they're made out of. And also, since this is the third one this season, we really get to see who's been paying attention, who's really going to go for it and take some risks. And I think we get to see that this week. Specifically, Lexus, the new IS sedan, was basically repping this challenge, or the sponsor.
Yeah.
They were the transportation for the challenge. It was teams of 3. Let's name off the teams.
Yeah.
First was Ken, Alexandria, Sue. Second team was Kate, Jeremy, Karen. Third team was Justin, Dom, Helen. And last team was Alexander, Miranda, and Brayden. When you guys first found out the teams, who did you think was going to be strong without seeing any work?
I thought it was going to be Brayden, Miranda, and Alexander. Just because of Brayden's history on the show, I knew he was going to be strong, and it just seemed like they would work well together.
Yeah, I actually, I would like to make it interesting and pick a different team, but I actually agree with Amanda. I feel like Alexander and Brayden have such a good style, and they haven't really shown that much drama. And I feel like Miranda, there's definitely drama when she was with Timothy, but I feel like Timothy brought a lot of it. And I feel like she's really there to show her stuff. She's there to pick up pointers. She's not there, you know what I mean? Like, she's not cocky about her talent. She wants to learn. And she seemed stoked just to be a part of the team, And not saying she's not good, but you know what I mean? Like, she was just like, sweet, I'm with these guys. And it just felt good, the team.
Well, and that's a great point. They need not only have to have the talent, like you mentioned, Brayden and Alexander, but they also have to be able to work together, and we see how that makes such a huge difference. Actually, every season in these team challenges, we see what a big difference. Sorry, there goes my phone. We see what a big difference it makes. All right, let's get into it. Their suggested amount to use is $1,500. They have to create a luxurious, high-end mini collection, which includes 3 looks. Tim emphasizes cohesion because if you are making a collection, it has to go together, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the 3 locations, Steph.
Yes.
That's Amanda.
I mean,
Well,
I
that's
know we
okay.
totally look alike.
Yes, of course. Well, they went to a wallpaper store.
so sorry. I'm not drunk tonight. I'm just so excited. Designer Sandro's calling. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. So in their Lexus cars, which were the IS 2014 sedan,
Okay.
they
I
had
feel like
these.
I have to say that again because we've all dropped that in there. It was a great car.
Oh, it was a
They're not
beautiful
going to
car.
send us a Lexus, girls. Stop with the product placement.
So there were 3 locations pre-programmed in the GPS. The wallpaper store, which had antique wallpaper, which kind of threw the designers for a loop because
Yeah.
they were looking for strong colors, like a strong red, and they weren't finding that. A lot of the colors were more
Muted.
antiqued and muted.
Yeah.
And the other store was the Garden of Eden grocery store. And they were finding rice, goji berries, jalapenos, all sorts of brightly colored berries and things like that to go with their garments. And then there was also a home goods and party store called Surprise Surprise.
I love that you wrote down the store names. I didn't even
look
catch
at that.
them.
Shout out.
Amanda Fields. Whoop, whoop.
Here's Amanda Field.
All right. I like that they had different locations when when they listed them. I thought it was going to be obvious, the home goods store and the wallpaper store. But we saw the people that actually went to the grocery store ended up making some really nice garments out of it.
I liked that they used the grocery store a lot because, again, like in the home goods store and the wallpaper store, like exactly what Tim was saying, which we'll get to later when he came in, it's like these things already look like fabric. So the fact that other people were getting like texture, like they got a lot of their texture from the grocery store, which I thought was really cool. You saw some like peppers, you saw all kinds of weird stuff.
Coconut.
But, yeah, which was just really interesting, and it added in those colors, and and then they had to figure out how to put them on there, and make them stay and make it look good. So.
And we should also add that this challenge, they only had that day until midnight and then a little bit of time on the runway day
Okay.
Yeah.
to make all 3 looks, right?
Good point.
And I feel like in this challenge, I didn't, and I could be wrong, but I feel like we didn't see anybody go over the suggested budget of $1,500. Some people came close. Like, I feel like the Ken and Sue and Alexandria, they spent like $1,100 and then $300.
14,
so
I think.
so it was like $1,400. But then some people spent like $600. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like, but nobody went over. And last week we saw, I believe it was last week, we saw Sue spent almost double the amount.
That's right. Sue's been spending a lot on this show. Helen, Dom, and Justin, they were the ones that spent the least, I think.
Yeah, I think they spent $600. Yeah.
I know, which means they'll have more to spend throughout the season, right?
We don't know
Oh,
that
yes,
answer.
because they have a certain amount
Oh,
to spend with
yes.
GoBank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
And there's there's a lot of that product placement with GoBank and with Lexus.
What kind of car is it again, ladies? I'm just
The
kidding.
Lexus 2014 IS sedan.
Oh boy. All right, let's talk before we get into the workroom, let's talk about Serial Buddies. Anybody want to get into it, or should I talk about it?
It's a great movie. I feel like we've all seen it at this point, right? Yeah, it's so awesome. You can download it on iTunes, our website. There's a link to it.
AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yeah, it's to me, it like I keep saying this, but it's the thing that so rings true to me. It's kind of like Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber, and I'm a big Dexter fan, and I like Dumb and Dumber. It's like that whole, it's really smart but really funny.
Kathy Lee Gifford's in it, Beth Baer, Maria Menounos, who created the movie, and AfterBuzz TV, as well as Kevin Undergaro, who directed the movie, right?
Yes.
Serial Buddies. So you guys, this is your way to support. Go download the movie. We are doing this because we love you guys, and by you supporting Serial Buddies and shows, AfterBuzz TV shows, it really helps us out.
And it's
we
now on video on demand.
All
through
right,
TV
that's
and various
Steven.
other platforms. So if you don't have internet at home, you can hop in your 2014 Lexus sedan, drive to a library, and rent it there.
The seductive voice you guys just heard is our engineer, Stephen Lemieux.
We love Steven.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Let's get into the workroom.
Yes.
So from the beginning, when they named the first team, which was Ken, Alexandra, and Sue, we see a different side to Ken.
Yeah,
He's a little bit.
I think Ken's bow tie is
itchy.
on a little too tight tonight.
he,
I don't understand. I loved Ken.
for some reason, I think Ken all of a sudden felt like he wasn't paired with the right people. He felt really challenged with the materials. He seemed like he didn't feel as confident and perhaps took that out on his teammates.
But that's not a team player nor a leader. Like, if
No.
you're only as good as your weakest link in your team, and too many people, especially in the fashion industry, I don't think, in many industries where there's ego and stuff like that, they don't think that way. You know what I mean? And he was. And what was very interesting was that he right away pretty much went over to Kate and was like, how does this work? Like, if someone on my team pretty much sucks, am I going to get kicked out too? And as soon as he found out it's kind of every man for himself, he just stuck to every man for himself. Which to me, like, I feel like there should be points deducted for that because it's part of a team challenge as well. Because if Sue wouldn't have been teamed with him, maybe she would have produced something better too because his attitude sucked.
Well, that's the thing. He had attitude from the beginning as soon as he found out who his teammates were. And instead of trying to like brush off that negative vibe and be positive about it, make the most of it and try to be helpful, he was really, really negative the whole time. He had something bad to say about Alexandra. He had, or Alexandria. He had something really nasty to say about Sue from the beginning. He said, Sue's the genius who cannot create her ideas, and Alexandria is borderline grandma.
Yeah.
I mean, unnecessary.
I wonder too if something, because you know we see this every week, but for them it's the next day. So previously, you know, was Ken and Sandro's fight as well. So maybe he's just still like, like, be seated, like everyone. Just sit down.
I thought it was quite interesting that they had these teams pre-planned. Tim Gunn just announced who was with who. It wasn't like they got to pick.
No button bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the hell? No button bag.
So,
and you know what? Steph, you made a great point too. Maybe he's still got that aggression from the big fight with Sandro he didn't get to.
And he's a little bit more like, I gotta watch my back because people are gonna get crazy. And you know, I just feel like for us it does. We get a week in between and we don't know how the drama just builds and builds and builds. And we see people like busting gaskets every, you know what I mean? Like people are losing it left and right.
it just seemed like his reaction though was a little strong for the situation. Like, come on, Ken, you can work. You should show that you can work with anyone.
Right.
If you're going to be successful. So
He was definitely the mean girl on the team this week.
And it wasn't like he was just even dramatic. I feel like he was, and again, like I get that drama is a good part of reality television. Like I understand that. But in my book, he took it a step too far. It's not personal, but to tell other people I'm speaking, shut up, or, you know what I mean, don't even look at me, that's just disrespectful. Like, there's one thing to be dramatic and to bicker and to argue and, you know, there to be this drama that makes a show interesting and what's going to happen, but it was almost uncomfortable.
That's a great point. It was uncomfortable watching it.
he was disrespectful too to Sue when they were discussing the aesthetic for their collection together to be cohesive. She was talking about who the collection might be for, and she said, "Oh, I think this is going to be for a 35 to 40-year-old woman," which is great if that's who she's designing for. And Ken just outright says, "I don't design clothes for 40-year-old women."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, he
which
wasn't
is
even-
probably one of the biggest demographic of people that buy clothes.
Exactly.
35 to 40, you know what I mean? So, but
So he has a lot to learn.
yeah.
Somebody
Ken.
was in a bad mood. Before we get into all the other teams, let's talk about one of my favorites, Sandro, making a nice little reappearance.
Yeah.
He walks in the door with Tim Gunn, and we were all
Shirtless.
gasping.
Just shirtless,
With
just
a
with a
satin
suit.
blazer.
Yeah, he was styling.
And we were wondering, is he coming back to the show? Is Tim saving him?
That's what I thought. I was like, is this the Tim save? Like, that can't go over good with, you know. And then
Yeah.
it was just like, no, he can't be back on the show. But I think that was big of them to bring him back. I wonder how that came about. I wonder if he was like, because we've had some interactions with him now, and, you know, hopefully he'll be calling into the show. But I feel like, you know, it wouldn't put it past me to think that he was like, you know what, like, I don't want people to think this about me. Like, as crazy as he seems like he was really adamant about, like, I'm not this person. Like, this thing got the best of me, and I acted out, and, like, I've lost friends. Like, he seemed sincere.
Yeah.
Crazy, but sincere.
And I think he does have a lot of talent, and so I think he wanted to make sure that people knew that he wasn't just that one side of his personality, that he does want to work with other people and collaborate and have a successful fashion label.
Yeah, he said, I'm emotional, crazy Russian. I'm ashamed that I'm not strong enough to handle emotions. He apologized to Helen, who he fought with directly. He apologized to Ken. Everybody hugged and made up with him. However, I thought it was kind of shady when they showed the confessionals and Helen and Ken were both like deuces right after. They're like, oh, it's okay, we forgive you.
However, I wonder if they filmed that right after Sandro stormed out and they just played it with his apology to make them seem harsher.
And not for nothing, poor Sue. She kind of got the short end of the stick both times. She got Sandro. She got to work with Sandro, who was like crazy Russian, and then she got to work with Ken. So it's like she's been dealing with emotions more than the actual challenges in the show. So I'm sure that had to take a toll on her.
Yeah. Considering she can't sew either, so she already has that to worry
Well,
about.
but time out. She can sew. She can't use a sewing machine. And I get that this is Project Runway, and I get that that is important. But today's day and age, you do not need to have to sew in order to be a designer. Many people, they come in, they have people that make patterns, they have sewers, they have these people that draw. It's a concept, and there's a whole team that makes that happen.
I understand that, but this show is like about the competition, about how fast you can be.
Right.
So I feel like, and it's overall, they don't have that luxury. They're not, Valentino. They don't have a seamstress that makes the couture dresses by hand for them.
I am very curious, though, why she did or how she did get casted. Like, they don't say, like, this is what it's going to be like. You're going to have 24 hours to do this, this, and this. These are the materials you're going to have to use. And she wasn't like, well, hey, I can't do that.
Anya, I believe, she was a contestant. Sorry to cut you off. And
okay.
she won, and she started the show not being able to sew, but she taught herself throughout the season and ended up winning.
Well, also to get cast on the show, you just have to bring 3 finished pieces usually to the casting session. So the judges are just looking at what you've already made. They're not saying, can you sew this in a day? They might ask them that, but as long as they can show that they can design and create pieces and make them look beautiful, I don't know that it's part of the decision process how fast you can make it.
Right, but in that, so pretty much I can write my name in that I want to be on this show, and I can go out and buy 3 dresses and take the labels off and show up and be on the show. Like, I feel like there's got to be a little bit more to the process.
No, there's more to
that.
the process. There's more to the process. They have to prove that they've had a long amount of experience to go into it. But
yeah,
I don't
I just
know.
feel like sewing would be on that.
Yeah. And it's season 12.
Yeah.
It's not like they just started Project Runway. I mean, you have to kind of know going in that you're going to be expected to use brother sewing machines, and you're going to have to make garments in a day, and you're going to have to sew things out of unconventional materials like wallpaper, placemats, curtains.
And you
Who
might have to
knows?
drive a Lexus.
Oh, all right. Let's get into the next team. Alexander, Braden, and Miranda. Tim, from the beginning, he sees their outfit and he's ecstatic in his own words. He thinks it's a great collaboration, even team-wise. He sees that they're working together really well, and he loves what they're doing. Were you guys shocked?
I loved what Braden was making, the shape he was creating. It was like a really big curve draping on the, I think the upper body of the model, and then it kind of draped down into a gown. It had an empire waist. And I think the material, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Raffia Wind Blinds. I've never heard of this before.
Raphael. Yeah.
Raphael.
I think it's just a brand. I think it's like just a brand of like blinds.
Okay, so it was blinds, and it's crazy because Tim, coming up to it, thought that it was a fabric, the way he had manipulated it, and it was like a hard material. So that was really cool that Braden was able to do that.
Yeah, I think he mentioned too how he had to like, work it for a little bit. He was like saying we've been like, working it in so that it would do that. So that was great.
Braden's really talented. You can't take...
He's creative too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he comes up with next week.
Yeah.
Karen, Kate, and Jeremy, another amazing team. From the beginning when I saw their work, I was like, wow, their dresses look really beautiful.
And I wasn't sure about Jeremy because last week he made something that was more mature, more madame, if you will. Right. And this week he went for a really modern twist. And he used white placemats with like a sheen to them. And then he started putting black glitter and silver glitter down the side and almost a pinstripe. And at first I was saying, is this going to make it look really good or really stupid?
Yeah, we were all concerned.
Well, I think what we all went to, or correct me if I'm wrong, but we all went to that he was going to do the dress like that, the whole thing. Because it looked like he was gluing, initially when he was painting the glue on, it looked like he was doing that kind of over the whole thing. So I think that might have tricked us a little bit, that he was going to, and you could see that the stripes weren't exactly perfect, which of course they wouldn't be, you know, but it was just like, wow, that's going to look messy. Like that, I went to messy. But then when it came out and it was just those two stripes, I was like, oh, okay, good call.
And Tim, he was actually kind of concerned. He thought they were a little under-resourced, and he was a little disappointed that they were just using placemats. I think that's when we see Karen's work really come into play later on the runway. I think they really utilized his advice and added more material, because initially, really what we saw was Kate and Jeremy's look, and it was just placemats.
Right, and they were able to incorporate the food elements, which I think were really successfully done, more so than the other teams. And I didn't see that many other teams use the food as well as that. I think just Justin. I think it was goji berries that he used along his model's neckline, and then it continued down the back. It was like a deep V on his model's back. That was really beautiful.
It was.
Yeah. Although I must admit, and I know that this, you know, probably everybody else thinks the opposite of me, but like I did not like Kate's dress.
Kate?
Really?
The black dress?
Wait.
Oh, no, not Kate. Karen's dress.
Karen.
Sorry. I did not like Karen's dress. I liked the idea and I liked the lines, but I thought that it was so not flattering to the body. It was very boxy.
Well, save this. Let's save this for runway.
Okay.
Because we are going to argue.
We were just talking about stripes, so I went there.
No, I like it. Helen, Dom, and Jeremy, though. Let's get into that. They're the team that only spent $600.
Yeah.
I thought Helen's looked awful initially. Walking trash can.
Wait a minute.
as
I think it's
Ken said.
Helen, Dom, and Justin, right?
Yeah.
Justin, I'm
Yes.
sorry, you're right.
Okay,
And
okay.
Tim, he's concerned at the lack of products, which is not shocking because they only spent $600.
Oh, that's right. I think it was the least expensive collection, but they made it look very cool. And I liked that Helen took a risk with the shape of the bottom half of her dress. It was manipulated in such a way that I think they were talking about they didn't want to make it look like it was wallpaper. They kind of crinkled it up and ironed it. And it was more of a fitted bustier top, and then it really came out wide, like exaggerated on the bottom.
Yeah. I liked it.
I didn't like it in the workroom, but on the runway I didn't mind, and we'll get into it.
Oh, that's right.
Alexandria, Sue, and Ken, they spent $1,400.
Oh, yes.
I thought Alex's looked beautiful, at least the top in the workroom. And Ken, when Alexandria and Sue were talking to Tim Gunn, he still has that same attitude. You guys are vomiting too much information, he tells them in front of Tim. And even Tim gets his defensive nature. He mentions, when he's scolding Sue, he says, Ken, if you think that smirk is going to help you get away with this runway, it's not.
Yeah, and then later Tim says that he's, was uncomfortable from Ken as well. And I really think at this point, though, Tim really does rip Sue a new one.
Oh, yes.
Like, he really, really rips her one. And she's kind of just like, I don't think she saw that one coming.
Tim Gunn was not pleased that Sue's garment was basically constructed out of a fabric. Right. It was from a curtain, right?
Yeah, a curtain is fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said, have you seen an unconventional challenge? And it's true. It's like,
yeah,
you already have a strike against you because you can't sew. She needs to bring it.
Yeah.
And Ken even said to Tim, this is all that Sue is capable of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after Tim walked away, they were talking about worrying about if they're in the bottom. And Ken said, honey, we in the bottom already.
Hun.
Oh, hun. Yes.
Be sated. Hashtag.
And he also, another line I really appreciated was, I'm highly pissed off. He said that when he was sewing. I'm highly pissed off right now.
Oh, Ken.
But then it's funny because at the end, I mean, I know we're jumping all around, but at the end he's crying, pretty much. We see him pretty much crying. So he's throwing out all this stuff and then he's crying.
He's emo.
I think he just got lost in this challenge somewhere along the way. So he just started complaining.
Thank God his bow tie is tattooed on, or he would have lost it somewhere.
Dun, dun, dun. That was a great one.
Oh, Ken.
All right. So should we get into the runway before designer Sandro calls?
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, actually, before we do that, let's talk about iTunes and telling a friend, rating us, all that good stuff. Do you want to get into it, Amanda?
Well, I think you can go to iTunes and rate our podcast every week, right?
Yes, correct. And we really appreciate it because we're here talking about Project Runway because we're fans just like you guys. So to keep us going, rate us, comment, tell us your feedback.
Yeah.
If you like something, let us know.
If
you
you
don't, let us know.
If you have a question you want us to talk about, or if we missed something, like, we appreciate the good, the bad.
Yes. And this is not the only show that we do right here at AfterBuzz. Obviously, you guys know. How many shows are we doing now? Steve,
hundreds.
do you know? Okay, Steve is gone. But it's more than...
It's probably 50 plus.
50 plus, so support.
definitely
Tell a
40
friend.
current shows right now.
Currently, we're doing 40
there's
shows,
Marissa.
and that's sweet Marissa.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you. Go on iTunes, rate us, comment. YouTube too, Twitter, everything.
Ooh, yes. YouTube comments are good too.
All right, Runway. Heidi comes out. We didn't talk about her
I was
first
just gonna say
outfit.
that.
I liked it. You guys didn't like the sequins, crop jacket and leather skirt combo.
It looked cheap to me.
When Heidi came out and announced the challenge at the very beginning of the episode?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I liked it. I
You
liked
liked
the look.
it?
I have it in mind.
I think the jacket was my favorite part. The rest of it was kind of forgettable, but it was a nice architectural jacket, and I liked the fact that it was a little bit modern. You can kind of see the hinting at the challenge ahead.
All right.
For me, she's like, it's either I either love it or I'm like meh.
Yeah,
And I
there's
feel like this
gray
one was
area.
a meh. No, because sometimes she looks so put together. Is he on the phone?
Yes.
Come on, it's me there.
Sandro.
We'll get back to the runway.
We'll get back to the runway and Heidi's look. Hello, Sandro, are you there?
Oh, Alina, how are you, my sweet girl?
Hi, Sandro. We're so
Hi.
excited to have you here. Or on the
Yeah,
phone.
well, however, listen, tell me what's up. What are your feelings right now?
Well, we were so happy to see you on the show tonight. I love the blazer, no shirt look. I think it was the perfect outfit for an apology.
Honey, that's Versace. Versace and Russia, it's like twin brothers. It's always perfect.
Versace. I love it. I noticed your Versace shirt with the overalls too, the throwback to Biggie Smalls.
Okay, Alina, I can hear you well. Can you ask me again, please? I'm on the street right now.
I noticed the Biggie Smalls Versace shirt you were wearing with the overalls too, the throwback.
Oh, yeah. Do you like that Versace shirt?
I love it. You're bringing the 90s back. It's really dope.
Absolutely, honey. I live for that. My mother was raised me in the high school, say like, Soviet Union crushed. Don't listen all those bullshit anymore. We're gonna put it Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and take Versace, my dress. Even it's last piece, you can cut it, you can play with those, whatever you want to do. Freedom in the country.
Amazing.
So after that, you know, I feel like in love with Gianni Versace, and I always tried to mix it up between Gianni Versace at 90s, John Galliano for Dior, Alexander McQueen, and sometimes niche with Gaultier.
Nice.
That leopard short in a diamond competition with that, like, you know, too tacky leopard everywhere. That was a Gaultier. People talking like, oh my God, this is Versace shirt. They're like, bullshit, this is Gaultier. So you should people know, like, what's up.
Well, thank you.
However, tell me, what do you think about, right now, Z loves Ken very much. She said, like, it's her favorite. And I want to say, like, after when I try to prepare you guys, what do you think about this Miss Alabama speech?
Well,
What do you think now?
We were really shocked about Ken. We were shocked.
Ken,
He's bitchy.
Hey, Sandro, it's Z. It's Stef Z. I loved Ken because I have such a love for bow ties. So it was his bow tie tattoo that made with love at first sight for me. But he really, and I don't know if it's just because of the fight that you guys had gotten into, but he really had an attitude problem this next episode.
That's the thing. I was trying to explain all these comments and all those people who texting me when they making point about the designer, let's say about the person, in a 50 minutes cut video. It's impossible. I mean, I trying to like scream whole country, like, people, are you a Nostradamus? Who the fuck you think you are? You putting your fat ass in front of the computer, keep blogging and texting all this poison and negative. Let's say in the daytime, every day I have from 180 messages, 200 messages. Let's say 80% of that, people says, oh, Sandro, you're so hot. I would love to hook up with you and all that bullshit. And they say mostly like, oh, Sandro, it's amazing piece, but we understand this is nothing to do with American market. All American market, it's Donna Karen, Marc Jacobs, it's very European, it's J'adore. Not a lot of people can understand that. And 20% negative, very poison messages when people text like, how dare you talk with skin like that? How dare are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm like, people trying to ask me secrets right now, giving me money. Can you imagine? Fucking crazy. However, listen, I would love to say, like 20% of the messages coming to my private emails and messages, which happens with other designers. They tell, oh, you crazy like all you Russians and your country fucked up. How dare you? Your mother probably crazy like to raise that kind of son. Shame for whole country, for your president. And I say like, you can judge, let's say judge me. You can talk about my garment, but please don't deal with stereotypes. I understand a lot of people from my country, very bad. A lot of Russian girls doing prostitution and students, and they're selling drugs. I know that crap, but I'm not came to the show to like be that way. I trying to be like killed and crush those stereotypes and be completely different person.
Well, Sandra,
And top of that, I'm trying to be beautiful, beautiful work. I feel woman body, even I'm homosexual. Each piece, I love female body, construction, muscle, skeleton. I adore woman. My type of this woman from Rosalind Russell, Lauren McCall, Rita Hayworth. This is I was grew up with that when it was impossible to watch that movie in Russia. My mother did everything to give me that and raise me well and give me some taste to understand. Woman, it's woman. Woman bring life to earth. And your business, when you grow up, make a pleasure for woman and make you feel as special, incredible, amazing. And that's what I'm trying to do beside my funny jokes as vagina drops or it's too much jewelry or everything. I try to correct and show beautiful female body. That's why I put it corsets, that's why I'm using that seam lines, that's I'm trying to do a lot of construction, And top of that, I'm protecting the people who shit on me. Second challenge almost, I was like, I almost have a conversation with, like, let's say from managers and producers of the show, like, you cannot protect it. I said, like, we're all human here. Show gonna be finished, and everybody going back to fucking New Jersey or Alabama, whatever, and whole country gonna see how you jerk you almost, And you have to be human being, and that's I gonna protect. You come to my heart, I respect that. I know how it's difficult and hard to live in New York City and deal with a lot of stereotypes and mentality. So I see this girl, everybody judging her, oh, she looks fake, she's probably drug addict, look at tattoo everywhere. I said, no, she reminds me young Vivian Westwood. And I say that in an interview, even I before met her in the show, I say, like, no matter what, girl, I respect you. And that's how it became, she's talking, how naive I was. I was talking about and protecting her when she's going to interview room and talking
you're talking about Helen.
About me.
And you're talking about
and
Helen.
now, even right now, I'm just watching the last episode, still been gone, and she keeps saying bullshit about me. I mean, I might deserve this. Honestly, let's be like a boy in that way, and they say we can. 50 minutes cut doesn't show every episode makes 4 days. And they just camera people and all those producer entertainment stuff. They have to show somebody gonna be bad boy, somebody like independent, somebody like quirky. They took me in position, this is crazy emotional Russian one who be bad, who can be adult, who can be gentleman, everything, like too many colors in the world. in the world, and that's I've been like a different, but I always respect everyone.
No,
That's
From
right.
Army girl to Braden to Irish, everybody, you know. But now what happens to me, I don't get any text message, any like, you know, just from those like judges, let's say like, you know, how did you say like, hey kids, how are you doing? Are you like, you know, are you being good or something? They know like who they see us. We have account on Twitter or Instagram and Facebook. We never get anything. It's just completely go and ignore. What I feel right now, I've been used like a puppet. So I think when they're gonna be in the last episode going to the runway, and there's like, you know, there's like designers gonna be there, I'm gonna speak up, girls, you know.
Well-
I'm a Russian. I don't give a fuck. I'm going straight to the point. If I respect you, I wanted the same respect back. I'm sorry. I just been emotional right now. Go ahead.
No, we love it. Why did you feel it was so important for you, even though you were safe last week, to speak up to the judges? Do you think
Because
that's how you
I'm
got
trying to understand. Look what they're choosing. I already understand they're choosing type of white girl, rich family, Upper East Side.
Okay.
Every challenge, every company you see, it's all about that. Right now, I was like, let's say like the Coney Island competition. They did like Alexandria. I call her Sharpener actually, and she said the same nickname. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's Sue here. Do you want to say hi, Sue?
Hey, baby.
Hi, Sue.
Hello.
How are you? So we're glad to hear you guys are still friends.
But hello.
Hi, Sue.
Yo,
We're the
calm down,
AfterBuzz
listen,
TV
they
network.
Like the radio. Whole America listen
Are
to
you
you.
in Los Angeles?
So this is
Yeah?
the AfterBuzz recap. We're sorry to see you go tonight. But
I can't hear very much, but just ask me questions. I will give you very, very honest answers.
how hard was
That's
it
no
working
problem.
with Ken? Was he really as bitchy as he seemed?
Actually, Havocan I absolutely loved. Havocan I think I can't stomach. Let's just say it that way.
Okay.
My problem is that on the show, I was too correct. I was very, very painfully aware that my mother was watching. I've been in the United States for very few months. I've been in Europe for 18 years. So I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't want to be a drama queen. But my real personality was like, fuck everybody. Fuck the system. Fuck everybody that I don't love and don't respect. Ken, fuck half of Ken. But the other half of them I really love. So what can I say? He's a shitty work partner. Sandro, I love forever and ever.
Stop. So, like, I understand
You guys
it's
should do a
emotional.
collection together.
He's a Russian. You're Russian. He's a fucking Russian
Yeah,
from,
I don't give a fuck. I'm going straight to the
from
point.
fucking Greece. I don't know where. But I'm American. You know, I'm American anti-American. So what can I do? What can I say?
Do you think
I
you would
love
ever?
working with Sandro, even though I hated it. But with Ken was a fucking nightmare. So
Yeah,
all I
it
can
seemed that
say
way.
is that fuck the show, fuck the system. I still love fashion. I still love making things, and fuck everybody who's not honest and buys the whole game. Fuck them hardcore until
So stop using. That's my word. Fuck.
no,
Come on. No.
I can't say it for my mother, but to the marrow of their bones. Fuck them
Sue,
hard.
okay. Sue, do you-
Because you speak Sue like me. Like, don't copy of me. It's my part. No,
You're right.
word.
You guys have to come to LA.
Yeah. This will love me for fucking. You know,
I
I'm
grew up in New
taking my
Hampshire.
part.
I'm sorry, I grew up in New Hampshire. I cannot compare myself to Sandro.
Well, do you guys think you would
Nothing to
ever
do. I just
collaborate
tell
on a
the girls,
collection?
like, you have to be like.
Sorry?
Do you think you and Sandra would ever collaborate on a collection together?
Of course. But I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess that does my own thing, self-taught. But I have brilliant, very money-making ideas. And Sandro is creatively and technically a genius. He's not, neither one of us are meant for the show.
Well, you
Sandro's
guys-
meant for the show in a showman like network bullshit media way. I am like, fuck all of you, but I don't want to let you know it.
They're gonna know
Well,
anyway.
I really
Right,
love that.
Speak up right
Wait,
now.
right.
Step up.
time out,
It's
time
like,
out. I love
be
that.
quiet and
Wait.
Basically, I've been fucked over by the biggest stars in the world, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't have financial backing. I won't sleep with somebody who have financial backing. I don't have a mother, father, parent, brother that can back me financially. So I'm a straight girl. I'm not very young. I studied filmmaking, and I'm like, you know, fuck the system, but what's Project Runway? Okay, well, do this in row? I'll do it. And I still love Sandro no matter what, forever.
Okay, that's too much. Take another whiskey.
No, it's not too much. I have only two.
No, hold on.
Steph, ask your
I have a question though. I have a quick question.
quick question, you guys.
Quick question. So.
Yeah.
But was it because it seemed, and we understand that there's a lot of editing that plays into what gets shown on the episode, but it seemed like the two of you didn't get along during your challenge as well. So is that something that was more so just shown through editing? And did you guys always get along right after your challenge, or did you guys since become friends?
Let me tell you, I understand that you talking, I love your voice also. However, let me tell you this thing. Everybody there likes me. I understand that. Even no. They talking to me, okay? Just let me speak. So, however, no, I understand. However, I just want to understand. Some of the people was playing they like me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
camera guys have to show the drama. They have to.
Right.
So from all those moments, you know, even like I was working 11 hours with Sue, you know, 6 hours. I don't bother her. 6 hours she's staying by her own. She worked by her own. She was in another room. I'm in another room. And it's like, Sue, I trust you. I understand what you're doing. You're doing skirt. I'm doing the top. She's like, okay. After
Right.
6 hours, I come to Sue and ask Sue, so where's the skirt? She said, like, Sandro, I'm sorry, my technique doesn't work. I said, like, bitch, 5 minutes you're working on technique, you see it doesn't work. Move on, do something. Yo, it's a lifestyle. It's the same in life, you know. Doesn't work out something, relationship, life, I don't know, job or like, you know, relationship. Move on. You can't wasting so much time because we have only 11 hours. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. And she's like, you know, what am I going to do? I'm so like, you don't fucking understand what you're going to do. Let me help you. And she's like, don't talk to me like that, man. And that's the camera time they catch, and they're trying to put it something. Because between us, it was like, it's very cool, you know. And then I respect, because I say, like, I like when a woman listen to men. It's so genius, it's so cool, because I'm living 5 years in this country, and I'm watching mostly successful relationships. Whatever is that a relationship between woman and man, or it's a partnership between woman and man. But if woman listen a man, she've got her diamonds, she've got penthouse, she've got her Lamborghini, she've got house in like East Hamptons. She've got everything because she learned she have to listen and man and doing whatever she wants to do, but listening. Because, you know, in the nature, look how many wars happens because of women. Like Napoleon was like that whore, Josephina, Helen from Troya. All those things happens because of the woman, and woman much stronger than men in the nature generally, like smarter and whatever. But man, it's from nature. He's a hunter. He's the one who get money for the house. He the one. And what woman has to do?
I think you should write a
is be
relationship
nicely
book.
quiet, you know, just shut up and listening. And she got everything from the world. And if woman dominate and start saying like, no, yo, man, this is not gonna work out. You're gonna do what I say. That's why a lot of girls, after 5 years, I'm watching my clients comes to me. She's like 35, 42. She's a single or divorced, single mother, because she likes to be a boss. She likes to do what she wants to do. She doesn't like to listening. And I respect when she understands she fucked completely. She don't have a time anymore. She's like, okay, I'm going to be a assistant. I respect that. That's what I said in there in the room. I didn't know they're recording me. I said, like, I really do. I respect that because she, in the last moment, she understands this is no way to dictate. This is no way putting your opinion. You have to listen to men. Otherwise, we're going to be both kicked out, and we've been saved. So that's my formula, and people keep texting, how dare you tell a woman should listen to men? I'm like, what incredible I say. Am I saying, like, you know, some horrible things, like let's say, like, hey, people, let's use drugs? I didn't say anything. I'm just dealing with regular people who come to my door every day and saying, you know, I'm divorced, I'm single, and I'm looking 35, 37, 45 years old. And they like a successful businesswoman, you know, and they have nothing. And they're never going to have a husband. They're never going to have a, you know, boyfriend because they like to do what they like to do. They don't want to listen.
Sandro, I think it was very big of you to come on the show and apologize to everybody for how you acted, and it spoke of you and where you come from, and it was just very a very good,
noble thing.
Yeah.
Yes, a noble thing.
Were you asked to do that, or was that your idea?
The thing is, what happens to me that night, I just like smashed the camera, I took my luggage, I took my Versace and get the fuck out from hotel. I came to my room, and next day I've got the call from again, people behind the camera who
Producers.
respect me, who likes me, and one of them close to producer, she called me and she said, you know, I just saw what's going on with you, and I understand where you came from, Sandro. Just because I know, and all camera people, even like my housekeepers in the hotel, the security downstairs, you know, what happens to me after that day when I left from the room, they're like, you know, people came with huge box of the candies. My housekeeper in the hotel, she shared with me her sandwich. Somebody gave me last $20 from his pocket. It means a lot to my heart. You know, those people don't have to do that. And it was behind the camera. That was very important to me. So it means those people understand they're doing their job. They have to put something on the show, but they're still human beings. They understand what I'm going through. And I got the call from one of those people who crew, and they said, Alexander, we understand what's up with you. We would like to, if you come to the show, and in a nice way say, last time, goodbye, we see you want to see guys again. You know, let's talk with producer, and let's see how it's going. If she's going to say yes, so next day come over. So immediately what happens, like, you know, I just was waiting call, and I sitting in the car, you know, in the Starbucks, and I was waiting coffee, and it's rain coming, and I'm waiting still this phone call from producer or whatever, and I see young girl standing in the road, and she keep giving people papers. Like, you know, volunteer. And it's rain. I'm looking at her. It's rain. I'm like, girl, go inside. And she's, no, people so mean. They walk away from her like, you know how people react if somebody standing in the street and gives some papers. They just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
However, I come to her. I say, like, the girl, like, go inside the Starbucks. Like, it's rain. You're going to get sick. Like, people so bitchy to you and mean. Like, you know, they walk away from you. You keep giving. And she looked at me. It was very, very sensitive moment. I swear. She looked at me and she said, like, you know, sir, I'm a volunteer. I don't get paid for that. I'm actually trying to help get donations for homeless kids. If you want, I can share with you some information. If you have some dollar, you can. I cried in that moment, girls. I was crying because I understand that part why my body was so burned and I stand up and leave from the show. I understand my answer. My body was burned and my mind, my brain doesn't understand what's going on. I lost my dignity, girls. I forgot how to be honored. There's two things when I was raised by my mother. She told me, any country you go in, remember, if you have a dignity and you're being honored, you're always going to be around good, very good and kind people. It can be Alaska, it can be like Norway, it can be China, whatever. Be honored and have dignity. And those two things, I lost it on the show. And I lost it because I can't believe the people who I protect, who I fight for, yell at me and scream at me and became traitors to me and start crying because camera close to the face. I've been shocked. I didn't realize it until people started surviving to stay in the show and trying to make, you know, more, you know, drama there when I was being me, and I'm like, are you real right now? And I'm the one who was protecting you, who kicked you almost. I've been like eliminated almost, but I saved you, I could protect you, and this is how you gave me back. So you talk about that you go into the like interview rooms and talking crap about me, and I'm so naive. Those people behind the camera, they saw every moment of that. That's why I got the call from them, and they say, like, Sandro, please we don't want to show you as a crazy person, you know. Whole America gonna watch that. Let's do it in a nice way. Say goodbye, kids, you know. Yeah. And that's why I came. And then when I left, I've got like, you know, sandwiches, like some $20 cash. You know, I've got like some security box of like, you know, food, and this is something more important than any, you know, those bingo money or winner or anything, because, you know, it's all gonna be over.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna remember those designers. This next episode gonna come, next season gonna come, season 13, 25, whatever. But if you still clean with people, your heart was open, and you're trying to do the best and show you came here to make woman look beautiful. You not came here to have a deal with shit and listen how people became to you as a traders. You not came for that.
Sandro.
So, you know, you have to stay and be me. That's why I get respect from all those people. And as much they can, they put it on the video. So I respect that.
Yeah. Sandro, I have one quick question, and then I want you to tell everybody where they can find your work and where we can look for more of your designs. But I wanted to ask you, are you going to get to show on Fashion Week? Are you going to get to show a collection? Have the
what
producers
happens
let you
basically,
know?
we have to come, all of designers have to come in the Fashion Week, September 6th, I believe, or 7th. We have
Yeah.
to be there.
New York.
They're going to do last episode. I, of course, going to make my beautiful outfit. I going to be look very, like, fucking Shador, fierce, whatever, to make people just gag there. I
Yeah.
know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you. However, my style going to be mixed between Gautier and, of course, my fucking Versace.
I love
So,
it. We can't wait.
P.S.
yeah.
Sandro,
Yeah,
just don't
yeah.
forget, it's Stef Z again. Don't forget, we will never forget you.
Never.
Never forget you. We
Come on, I'm
appreciate.
really like, that's why I came to this country.
I know.
My mission to make woman beautiful and deal with woman, no matter how homosexual I am.
Yeah.
I have to make woman beautiful. Woman bring life to earth.
Thank you so
Woman have
much.
to,
Yeah.
take care of so many stuff in life. All what I have to do just give you, like, thank you by my work.
Yeah,
You're
we
so
would
My
really
pleasure,
appreciate.
that's what I have to do. So, and all my stuff, my work, my portfolio, you see like my work, you see how I adore woman. You can see on my
Your work
fan
is-
page, or you can see on
Tell us where.
Instagram. You can
Tell
use
us
my
what-
Sandro Masmanidi, my name.
Spell it out.
Google it. Google it, and it's a lot of accounts. You can see the picture of my work.
Sandro Masmanidi.
Yeah, Sandro,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you
it's basically the
so
same, yeah,
much.
the same.
Sandro, thank you so
much for calling.
We're
We
all
really-
a fan.
Yeah, we love you, Sandro. Thank you for
Thank
calling and
you.
taking the time. And Sue too. Thank you, Sue.
Before we're gonna say goodbye each other, it was a moment for Sue. That's why we was hanging out here in the bar with other friends, and it was like Alexander, red hair. He just left, and Karen, who I called Dacky, because
Don't
she
tell
always like
us.
laughing like a dog, like. However, they left already, and Sue right now a little bit, very sensitive because she got the same point as from the person
Spoiler
who
alert.
I've been having shit. So she's right now having her whiskey. I'm like make the girl take
Whiskey
care of her.
girl.
I think she's gonna be fine. But please, one more time, before you're gonna have critique about somebody, think it's a 50 fucking minute video cut, and that's all.
Yeah.
It's not really show the personality, real person.
Right.
We got it. It's edited, and it's producers and writers, and I know a lot goes into it. We really appreciate your time. We know you're very talented and so passionate. We can't wait to see more of your work.
Yeah, and we really appreciate that, you took the chance to come on and say who you really were. And, thank you again, Sandro, for calling and have such a great... Why are you guys laughing at me?
The phone
he hung
got
up.
disconnected. He hung up.
Oh.
All right. See you later, Sandro. Still, Sandro, you'll watch it, and we love you, and we're glad that you had this time to... Is he calling back? We're glad you had this time to say your piece, because on a lot of TV shows like this, people don't get a chance to say their piece.
Yeah, and he wanted to make it really clear that it is edited. He's not that guy. He just sounds really, really passionate, right?
Yeah, he's not that guy. Like in the beginning too, I remember even me a couple times were like, Sandro, simmer down type thing. You know what I mean? But he really is just a passionate guy with some good, ethics, values from his family. We don't
And he
have
loves
to,
women. Who doesn't like
And
a designer who loves
yeah.
women?
He maintained his dignity by coming back this week, and I thought
Yeah.
that was really strong of him to do that. And I can tell that he's very passionate on the show and on the phone call.
Yeah, and I think it does, like how he was saying that the producers asked him to do that. Like they were like, we want to give you a chance so that you're not seen like this. I mean, they don't do that in all shows. Like sometimes so I think that really speaks a lot for who he is as a person. I might not agree with the women always just listen to the men thing, but
You know what? That's his opinion.
That's his opinion. Yeah.
So he has a right to
He
it.
has total right to everything. But I feel like, some of those things that he was saying were a little bit traditional.
A little bit over the top, but you know what? He's talented, and I wish him the best.
I know.
Yes.
I kind of want to go to Fashion Week just to see what he's wearing.
I know. That would be so much fun. I wish we could go. But
Okay.
we can't. We don't have
Versace.
time for the runway. But let's mention the winner and the loser at least.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so
Jeremy is
Was
the big winner.
and
Yes.
he's from the winning team, which was
Kate, Jeremy, and Karen.
he had the
Yes.
beautiful white dress. It had a sweetheart neckline, cocktail length, and wow, that whole team, the collection looked amazing.
The only thing I didn't like about Jeremy's dress, real quick, was the the bust cups, the boob cups. I felt like they
liked
were
it.
a little awkward.
They were a little short. I
Yeah.
felt they could have come up even just a ½ inch higher. It would have been a little bit more modest for the boob area, but on his model, it was tasteful.
I liked it.
She was a little smaller, so.
I like the
Yeah.
whole collection.
Word.
And the guest judge this week was, oh my gosh, June Ambrose.
She's a stylist to celebrities. She styled Jay-Z amongst many other people, and she was a pretty good judge, I thought.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
I liked what she said. Clavicles are the new cleavage.
I like that too. I did like that.
So
We've got a couple of definitely one-liners.
And lastly, we know already because we talked to her, but the loser was Sue.
Yeah.
Sue.
She
Sue was
had
just-
a couple of hard weeks, and
She was just not happy with this whole process. I didn't think she was gonna be that.
anti-system.
Yes.
Anti-establishment, stick it to the man. But you know what? She is very talented.
I think
also.
so, too.
And I think a show like this doesn't bode well for a designer like her.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like they set her up to fail, though. Like that's why we were
Putting her with Ken and Alexandria, it was kind of the odds were stacked against her.
Right, but even from the beginning, the fact like how we were talking about the casting process, we should have asked her about that too. If they
Yeah.
asked about the sewing thing, that would have been cool. But like the fact, like from the very beginning, there was people like kind of picking on her or whatever term you want to use that she didn't know how to sew. So if they
Right.
really knew that like that was going to be such a problem for her and cause drama, it's almost I can understand her frustration. I think she was very frustrated, but.
Isn't there always a designer every season that doesn't know how to sew? There's usually that one contestant.
There's always that
something.
one designer that isn't technically as sound. Well, I shouldn't even say that because she could still sew by hand, which is probably harder than a sewing machine anyways.
Right, and more expensive.
And more expensive couture. But sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Let's tell everybody where they can find us since we have to skip news and predictions this week.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well,
Start, Amanda.
you can find me, Amanda Fields, on Twitter and Instagram at The Runway Queen.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IAMSTEFZ.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Alina23. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for calling, Sandro and Sue.
Thank you guys so much.
It's good to talk to you.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.